What's up, what's up, what's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining this live. Let me get up in the live. Give me a second, y'all. Let me get up in the live. 1 second. Let me log in real quick so I can jump up in the live, get in the live chat with y'all. Don't forget, as soon as you join this live, hit that like button down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let me put this in the chat real quick. Alright. Let me pin this to the top. Alright, cool. Let me come back over here. Let me go to the Facebook really quick and add this to the Facebook chat. Give me a second, y'all. Don't forget, hit the like button down below if you like these videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let me go to Facebook really quick, y'all. Drop this in the news feeds. Hold up a second. Alright. Alright. We'll give you all a few seconds to get up in here. Thanks for joining the live, everybody. Get up in here. Alright. We put our posts over on our Facebook page, so we got that over there. How's everybody doing tonight? I see Jason in the building. Jason, what's good? I see Blockers in the building. Blockers in the building. Thanks for joining the stream. Don't forget, y'all, as soon as you join this stream, hit that like button down below if you like these videos. Jason already said it. Jason already said it. We had it teed up. Thank you for that, Jason. We're gonna start the show off today with some sad news. COVID is real, okay? And I know what they're saying of his complications, why he died. So we're going to, as always, we're going to wait till we get autopsy results and final results from family or from official cause of death. But we're going to say rest in peace to DJ K. Slay. There's so much you can say about K. Slay. One of the early adapters when it came to DJs in New York City, the mixtape era, the DVD era. He even transitioned over into albums, synonymous with breaking a lot of the classic hit records, a lot of beef records he broke. A lot of classic material when you go back and you look at the things that the Drama King did in his career. So to start off tonight, I just want to say rest in peace, DJ K. Slay. Take care of your health, everybody. Take care of yourselves out there. Make sure you're doing your best to be safe. Drama King, Volume 1 right here, CD. So that's how we're going to start it off tonight. I want to say thank you for joining the stream. Blocker, Jason. I see Triborough's in the house. Triborough, thanks for joining the stream. Today's my boy's birthday. My boy Nigel, all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. Lansmeter Road, Carenage, Trinidad and Tobago. My dog, Nigel, my day one, my man. Love you. Happy birthday, dog. A lot of food is getting cooked tonight. All kind of meats, fish. All kind of liquor is getting drunk tonight, so I want to say happy birthday to my boy Nigel. Bless, more life, more life, more life. But let's get into the show, man. Let's get into the show. We're going to talk about last night's Verzuz. I want to start by saying, shout out to Timbo, shout out to Swiss Beats. I've been saying this for a long time. But whoever put together this Verzuz, Easter Sunday, that matchup, BeBe and CeCe Winans versus Mary Mary, you got, whether it's Timbo, whether it's Swiss Beats, whether it's the intern, whether it's somebody from somebody else's camp, whoever it was, Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I always sit here. Diamond Onyx is in the building. Diamond, thanks for joining. Iman is in the building. Iman, thanks for joining. I know I always say I like the verses that artists go at each other. I like the drama verses. I like the verses when the artists don't like each other. I like the verses when artists go song for song, song for song. I like the verses when you going for the other one's throat. That's what I think verses is. But once again, somebody has proved me wrong. This has happened a few times before. We have had some verses that was ultra competitive, but it stayed all love. And this was one of those verses, yo. So again, I want to say, whoever it is, Swizz, Timbo, whoever put this together on an Easter Sunday, thank you very much for putting this verses together. I want to hear from you guys tonight. Who won the verses, man? Drop it in the comment section, yo. Drop it in the comment section. Who won the verses tonight? I need to hear from y'all. I know Jason already crowned Mary the winners. I'm going to hit some chat. Drop in the comment section today. Who won the verses last night? BeBe and CeCe Winans versus Mary last night. Drop it in the comment section, y'all. I need to hear from y'all tonight. Who won the verses? I'm going to hit some comments. I'm going to hit some comments in here. Again, I see Jason here. I see Triborough. Triborough says salute. Michael Mascara is here. Michael is here. Michael, what's good? Thanks for joining the stream. Let me hit some of these comments. Jason says, RIP to DJ K Slade, the drama king. Michael Mascaro has a comment. Michael said, what's good, y'all? Rest easy to the legend, DJ K Slade. Triborough says, salute to the chat. Triborough says, RIP to the drama king K Slade. Triborough also says, RIP to Black Rob. I saw someone, I think Iman posted that K Slade passed away on the same day as Black Rob. Black Rob passed away 1 year today. Rest in peace, Black Rob. Diamond Onyx is here. Triborough says, Trinidad, big up Trinidad and Tobago, Carenage, Lance Mitaro, my boy Nigel, birthdays today. They over there celebrating crazy. I'm jealous, I'm mad, I'm not home, but it's all good. Shout out to my man. Blocker Time says, I see you liking on my album review posts. Diamond Onyx says, chat, go tap in. Jason says, happy birthday to Nigel. Iman says he died on the same day Black Rob passed away. Thank you for that, Iman. Diamond Onyx has some presents over there for Nigel. Triborough says, didn't see the verses last night, was watching the NBA playoffs. Here's an interesting piece of info. And I saw Jason post this yesterday as well. And this goes to Triborough. Triborough said he was watching the NBA. Twitter actually, you know how Twitter stuff goes, who's more important, what is trending on Twitter. Even though this weekend had a lot of basketball. Playoffs started, so there was a lot of playoff basketball on. Versus was actually trending yesterday. So shout out to that. So this versus, if you missed it, this was the first verses that was in Erica Campbell's church. This is called the California Worship Center. Okay, so this was the opening of their church. Now, I gotta say, the presentation from last night was A1. From it being the church, it being in the stands, it being the setup on stage, the DJ, the way they put the music together. BeBe and CeCe Winans looked amazing. Mary looked amazing. The whole setup from last night was top tier A1. Timbo, Swizz, You guys got a hit show on their hand. And we have a hot take. I got a hot take for the end of the show. I'm going to give you all a hot take at the end of the show. But if you didn't see the show last night, it was at California's Worship Center. And this was their first time having anything there. Now, we have had verses that were religious verses. Remember, there was the Kurt Franklin. Who was it? Kurt Franklin. It was Kurt Franklin versus somebody on that verses. Kurt Franklin versus Fred Hammond. So we already had a verses that was like a Christian church setting. But remember, this was when verses was still, I'm in one place, I'm in the other place. This right here, they put together a verses inside of a church setting. Now let me be totally honest. Let me be totally honest, y'all. I'm not one to go to a verses inside of a church. I think the Lord's house, to me, the Lord's house is just something not to play with in certain ways. But I have to admit to y'all, this verses was well put together. For the venue where they kept it, the crowd, the way the crowd reacted, singing most of the songs, there was no rah-rah. As far as I see, there wasn't really any drinking. I saw one or two people in the crowd with a glass, it looks like wine. So it didn't look like any really drinking was going on. But the song presentation from Mary Mary to BeBe and CeCe Winans was so well put together. Whoever choreographed this verses, and it was choreographed because BeBe said it himself. There's stuff that was on the list he didn't know that was on the list. So they had a list of songs, and Mary Mary also spoke of this. They had the list of songs, how they were gonna play song for song for song for song. But it was well put together. This right here, I gotta ask y'all, those that saw this verses, how do you rank this verses? Is this verses in your top 5 or in your top 10 verses? I'm gonna hit the comments down below. Drop the comments, y'all. Let me know who you think won the verses last night. I think this was one of the better verses. I know. I like the rah-rah verses. I love the hip-hop verses. I love the reggae verses, but the way they put this one together, it felt grown. It felt mature. It felt like not only the artist took it seriously, it felt like the crowd, the people that gathered there, it felt like they took it seriously as well. They were cheering, they were singing, they were having fun. And these were a lot of uplifting songs. Okay, this was, again, it's a church settings. These are Christian artists. So a lot of the songs, the messages in the songs were very uplifting. There was a line they said last night. What was the line? Go get your blessings, which stuck with me from last night. But again, Timbaland, Swizz Beats, you guys deserve all of the praise for verses. You guys have put verses on the map, and you guys have also made verses into something that we're going to talk about in a little while, where verses is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to ask you all this question in a few seconds. Let me hit the chat. Let me see what y'all talking about. Diamond Onyx, thanks for the love. Again, I'm going to go back to Triborough. Triborough says he didn't see the verses. He was watching the NBA. Iman says, I used to record the drama hour. He played all the Dipset classics. Yes. K-Slay used to break a lot of records. Like there were some records, first time hearing it, K-Slay would be the one to play those records. Okay? And again, K-Slay is very respected in the hip-hop game. K-Slay is one of those DJs that came up in the 80s. He transitioned over to the 90s, and his knowledge for music, his his attitude where he wasn't what you would call a sellout. He didn't care about the politics of hip hop. He was one of those gentlemen that kept it hip hop. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that play hip hop, that deal in hip hop, and they're all about the money, they're all about the notoriety. K-Slay always kept it. He always kept it hip hop. R.I.P. to DJ K-Slay. Thank you for that, Iman. Jason says, I was proven wrong too. I thought BeBe and CeCe Winans was going to win, but Mary took it. Drop in the comment section who you think won the Verzuz last night. Don't forget to hit the like button down below. Diamond Onyx says, I had no time to watch, so I'll listen. Diamond Onyx, do yourself a favor. Go on to YouTube sometime and just put it on. This is a Verzuz where you really don't have to watch, y'all. I'm telling you, this is a Verzuz you could put it on and just go about your business in your home. You're cleaning, you're washing, you're doing things, and just listen to this Verzuz. This Verzuz is very entertaining. If you're not watching it, there's stuff you're going to miss, but you can listen to this Verzuz, Diamond Onyx. Thank you for that. Triborough Gigolo said, what's the next Verzuz for Mother's Day? Triborough, we have that up on the screen right now. We're going to go over that in just a few seconds, Triborough. Thank you for that. Blocker Tom says, BeBe and CeCe Winans won the Verzuz. Okay, Blocker is going with BeBe and CeCe. Thank you for that. Jason says, Triborough, it hasn't been announced yet. And then we have Diamond Onyx says, Cypress Hill is a rock rap flavor. Diamond Onyx gonna be is F. It's gonna be. We're not gonna say what Diamond Onyx said, but Diamond Onyx said it's gonna be fly as hell. All right. Triborough says, I hope it's another legendary celebration like they did last year with Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. That was a good Verzuz too. But this Verzuz right here, that Mary BeBe CeCe Winans outshined it by far. Triborough has a comment. Triborough says, I used to watch a few episodes of Mary's reality show. I know more songs from them than BeBe and CeCe Winans. Mary came out last night. I was messaging Jason yesterday. Mary to me, they sounded like an R&B group last night. They didn't sound like a gospel group, which I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but the way they perform their songs and the way their vocals sound amazing. Shout out to Mary. Their vocals were amazing last night. Their vocals actually outshined BeBe and CeCe Winans. CeCe Winans was doing her thing, but I think that there were some of her lyrics that she forgot or she wasn't up on anymore. So she had her iPhone and she was reading off of her iPhone a lot last night. But CeCe Winans did her thing. Don't get me wrong. BeBe did his thing. But I think last night, Mary really used their vocals last night. It was amazing. Blocker says, happy 51st birthday to Fedro Star. Happy birthday, Fedro. Triborough said, good to see Swizz and Timbo breaking out the show to other genres, but let's get back to hip-hop. I'm going to read one more from Diamond Onyx before you move on. Diamond says, no thanks, Blocker. Do your thing. I'm here to listen to 16 on social media. Good looking, but this is a lie, so I'm all ears. I'm too busy. Thank you for that, Diamond. Thank you for that, Diamond. So, let's get back to this right here. So, I have the list up in front of us right here, y'all. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the list on my side. Because I saw Triborough just ask about this. So, we just got the Mary versus BeBe CeCe Winans, right? So, Mother's Day is the next one that's coming up. I don't know. You guys hit the comment down below. Let me know who you think is going to be on the Mother's Day Verzuz. I have no idea who is it going to be. But I just want to do something real quick there. Okay. So, I don't know who the Mother's Day special is going to be, but again, that's on the 8th. And then May the 14th, we already know. Is May the 14th the Onyx? I think May the 14th is the Onyx one, right? So I think we know what May 14th is. I think that's the Onyx Verzuz, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that one. And then after that, we have the Memorial Day Verzuz. And then we have the June 6th the live Verzuz live show with special guests. Get a Juneteenth. So Mother's Day is next. So I think we have to wait again after Mother's Day. I don't think they're gonna do a hip hop Verzuz for Mother's Day. I think Mother's Day they're probably gonna do something close to what they did with this. Excuse me. Maybe an R&B, maybe an R&B Verzuz, but I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for Mother's Day. But again, the big one I see coming up is the May 14th with the Onyx. So drop in the comment section down below. Let me know who y'all want to see coming up for the Mother's Day celebration. All right. Let me get back to this right here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put something up here real quick for y'all. So last night, shout out to everybody that watched, some that didn't watch. Last night at the end of the Verzuz, and throughout the Verzuz, you saw him there. Okay, so they had Stevie Wonder in the crowd at the Verzuz, and the camera panned to him many times. Let me read a comment from Diamond. Diamond has a comment. Diamond says, "How do you rate Verzuz, by the way? I mean, Triborough G. You have valid points, but a music celebration are all Verzuz are to me." And what Diamond is saying there, that has grown on me too, y'all. Like I really like the Verzuz when they're versus each other and they're going at each other's necks. But recently, with some of these more toned down Verzuz, it's beginning. I'm beginning to open up myself more to some of the Verzuz. All the Verzuz does not have to be a battle Verzuz. This is what I'm trying to get myself to. I can't always have a Verzuz where they're going at each other's necks. And this Verzuz yesterday actually proved that. So Diamond, that's a very good point, and I do agree. Not all Verzuz have to be like that. So last night, like I said, Stevie Wonder was there, and at the end of the Verzuz, Stevie Wonder went up on stage and had a speech. And I saw Jason sent me something. Swiss Beats also tweeted out Stevie Wonder versus who. So, like I put in the top of the show, I said that Swiss Beats and Timbaland, they have a hit show on their hands now. I'm gonna give you all two reasons why Verzuz is it's out of here. Like this is the beginning of something very special for Verzuz in the next few years. But let me give you guys some numbers. Okay, so I was watching Verzuz on the Verzuz YouTube channel. Okay, so on the Verzuz YouTube channel, they had approximately 55,000 viewers on the YouTube channel. Triller has their own YouTube channel, and they broadcast the Verzuz. Triller had approximately 15,000 people watching it on Triller. Now, remember, Triller has their app as well too. So a lot of people tune in to Triller on the app as well. Okay? Instagram, remember, Verzuz has their own Verzuz channel on Instagram. On Instagram, I saw them peak at around 90,000 on Instagram. Listen, y'all, those are some amazing numbers. And this is not even Triller's app plus all the other YouTubers. I saw some YouTubers doing 10,000, 5,000 viewers last night. There are tons of YouTubers also streaming that event. So when it comes to numbers, I would love to see when they put out the final numbers. This Verzuz did very well, y'all. And not to mention, it was trending #1 last night. But here's the hot take I have for y'all. Here's my hot take. Verzuz has always built itself on being something where a legacy act, to come on Verzuz, that legacy act had to have 20 hit songs. This was the building block of Verzuz. Okay? Remember, in the beginning when Verzuz started out, and they said, yo, who wants to Verzuz who? Nah, he don't have 20. Nah, she don't got 20. Or he got 20. Or he can have 20. Listen, y'all. Listen. I watched that Verzuz last night. And I was counting how many hit songs Mary Mary had versus how many hit songs BeBe and CeCe Winans had. BeBe and CeCe Winans had the bigger hits. BeBe and CeCe Winans had the bigger hit songs last night. But if you ask me, Mary Mary won that Verzuz last night. And Mary Mary did not play 20 hit songs. They had some hit songs. They had some hit songs. But what made Mary Mary win last night? Song selection and performance. That's it. That's it. When BeBe and CeCe Winans got into their big hits, yeah, they won those rounds. They won some rounds with some of those big hit records. Yeah. I was singing along to BeBe and CeCe Winans when the big hits came on. But the stage presence of Mary Mary, the way they were vocalizing, the way they were playing off of each other, the energy that they had the entire night, the crowd participation that they had on their side. I'm not saying that BeBe and CeCe Winans, they did their thing too. They were getting it in. Like I said at the top, this was one of the better Verzuz. But this right here, this Verzuz, this opens up the door. This opens up the door for a Cool G Rap Verzuz. This opens up the door for MOP Verzuz. This opens up the door for an artist that does not have 20 hits. Hit the comments down below. Hit the comments. Let me see where y'all at. Let me read some comments right now, y'all. I see Triborough here. Triborough says, sometimes the actual live performances from the artists will win over big hit records. Look at the Locks' legendary performance. This is what happened last night, Triborough. Yes, BeBe and CeCe, they won some rounds easily. Easily. When one of those hit songs came on, the whole crowd was like, oh. But Mary Mary had their hits too. But Mary Mary had an energy last night. But again, I want to say, shout out to both groups last night. They performed one of a show last night. Last night, listen y'all, last night was a Verzuz for the books. I need to hear from you guys. Who you guys think won the Verzuz? Let me see what's going on in the chat. Thanks for everybody for coming through. Diamond Onyx says, female only, I bet. Triborough says, Cypress Hill versus Onyx should have been on 420 instead. Makes sense. Diamond Onyx says, but a male performance would be love. And we're all talking about the next Verzuz that's coming up. That's coming up for Easter. That's what we're talking about. So Triborough says Cypress Hill should have been 420. Diamond Onyx for Easter, she wants to see a male. She wants to see a female. Diamond just wants to have a good time on Verzuz. I'm with you, Diamond. Diamond Onyx said, that sounds super cool. Triborough says, Onyx were guests on Be Real's podcast, Dr. Green Thumb. They were talking trash to each other. That will definitely be a battle on May the 14th. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Blocker has a comment. Blocker says R&B Verzuz. I think the Easter Verzuz is going to be an R&B Verzuz. I don't see Swizz and Timbo doing something hardcore on Easter. I mean, Easter, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But my guess for Easter, I think Easter is going to be something a little bit tamed down, a little bit more, R&B-ish, female or male versus female. So we'll see. Diamond Onyx says a global connection music. Diamond Onyx says every artist still have to have 20 songs. Blocker, I think after last night with Mary's performance, I think that going forward we are going to see artists that does not have 20 songs. That's my opinion on that one. Let me read some more comments here. Thank you all for joining the stream as always. Diamond Onyx said they were also around before Mary group. Okay. And Diamond Onyx also says Mother's Day perhaps. So again, very good verses last night. This was the first verses at a church setting, and this was Erica Campbell's church. This was the opening of the church, and the church is named the California Worship Center. Again, shout out to Timbo, shout out to Swiss for putting this verses together. Sorry. The last verses we had, which was a Christian verses, was the Kirk Franklin versus Fred Hammond. This one blew that totally out of the water. And again, I really love the setup for this verses. The church setting. I'm not a big person on celebrations inside of churches, but they kept it the way it's supposed to be. It was friendly. It was a little bit competitive. The crowd wasn't rah, rah, rah. The crowd was into it. It was a nice grown setting. You saw everybody coming out looking their best. I saw what's her name's boyfriend, the ex-husband. Oh my God, Megan Good. I saw Megan's Good ex-husband in the crowd. I also saw Flex, one of our old DJ hosts from back in the days. I saw Flex in the crowd as well. They had him on camera. So very, very, very well put together verses. And like I said, verses has always been put together as something that every artist needs to have at least 20 hits to get on this verses. I think after this, I think with how successful this verses was, again, this was #1 trending on a weekend where NBA playoffs just begun. Okay, there's so many other things going on in the world that this verses was still doing big numbers. 50K on YouTube, 15K on Triller YouTube app. Instagram had over 90K on there at the same time. And again, we ain't even talking about the Triller app numbers. So this versus put some really big numbers up. And I'm very interested to see what Timbaland and Swiss, when they put out the official numbers, when these albums start to sell more on these social media sites. I'm very interested to see how that goes. Again, shout out to my boy Nigel in Trinidad and Tobago. It's his birthday tonight. Wish him happy birthday. We lost another legend over the week. DJ K Slade, the drama king, passed away. They're saying due to COVID complications, but again, we're gonna wait. We like to wait till official news comes out here, so I'm gonna wait till the official news gets released. But this was a very nice celebration for music. This was a very nice celebration for classic music. BeBe and CeCe Winans did their thing last night. Mary did their thing last night. This versus last night proved to me again that we don't need to have all the verses as being super hyper competitive, rah fights, arguments. I don't like you, I hate you. I love those verses. I think that's what verses was built for. But last night again proved to me that we don't always have to have those verses. We can actually have some verses where there's some decency, where there's still competitiveness, where there is still classic. Look, listen, this is the one thing I love that Verzuz is doing, y'all. Verzuz is taking a lot of the legacy titles, a lot of the legacy. And when I say legacy, I mean old school artists, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It's taking a lot of legacy acts and it's putting them into the spotlight where they belong. Okay, I hope Verzuz doesn't do any of the newer artists. Anything past 2005, I think they should stay away. keep doing everything legacy acts. But what Verzuz has done is they're showing a lot of these generations now that the 80s and 90s was nothing to mess with, y'all. These are songs that are 20, 30 years old that these artists are performing. There were people in that crowd that these songs were released before they were born. And take a look. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen before I say this. I don't want to say this. Let me put this picture up before I say this. I'm going to put this up here before I say what I have to say. Okay? These are legacy acts, people. Mary Mary, BeBe and CeCe Winans. These are legacy acts. Look how amazing they look. Look how amazing they performed. Look at their stage. Listen to their voices. Did you hear CeCe last night? Shout out to BeBe as well. BeBe to me deserves a nice clap. He kept both teams entertained and engaged throughout the night. Because sometimes some of these verses be super disconnected. BeBe was actually acting as the host at times, making sure they Mary Mary played their song, and then they came with their song. So shout out to BeBe last night. But take a look at these. Take a look at them. This music that they were performing last night, like I said, is 20, 30 years old, y'all. And they sounded amazing. So I'm going to hit a few more comments, and then I'm going to end the show with some positive words for Swizz and Timbo. Diamond is in the chat tonight. Triborough is here. Jason is here. Iman is here. Let me hit some of these comments. Blocker says, what about LL Cool J? I hope LL Cool J does a versus. That'll be amazing to see. Diamond Onyx has a comment. Diamond Onyx says, I got not all over the world celebrates Easter. True. Bars, you mentioned Easter instead of Mother's Day. We get you. My bad. Sorry. Easter, my bad. Diamond Onyx says, so an all-male duo for a Mother's Day performance would be good to watch. Yeah, so whatever they do for Mother's Day, I agree. I want to see something, because it's Mother's Day. You know, you want to represent the ladies. You want to show some love, show some appreciation to the ladies. I don't know if having females perform for Mother's Day, so I might want to see some male performances performing and celebrating their mothers, celebrating all the mothers in the crowd. I hope they do. I hope they do Mother's Day big. I think they will. Blocker says, no, it wasn't. The last verses was Anthony Hamilton versus Music Soul Child. I don't think Anthony Hamilton and Music Soul Child are considered Christian performers. Mary Mary and BeBe and CeCe Winans are kind of considered Christian performers. I don't think Music Soul Child is a Christian performer. Music Soul Child does R&B. He does like soul R&B. And Anthony Hamilton is not a Christian. So what I was saying, Blocker, was that the last verses of that kind where we had Christian performers was the one with Kurt Franklin and Fred Hammond. Thank you for that. Diamond's going to tap the like button. Thanks for tapping the like button, Diamond. Jason got a comment. Jason says, I got Onyx over Cypress Hill, even though Cypress Hill ain't a walk in the park. I think that the venue is going to help Cypress Hill because I think it is in their territory. So I think that is going to help Cypress Hill. But I think Onyx is going to come with the energy. Listen, I know Cypress Hill was probably out before Onyx, but I think Onyx has the biggest song. So I'm definitely going with Onyx for that versus. Triborough has a comment. Triborough says, the game been running his mouth off. The game been doing the... Tribal, Game is on promo tour. His album's coming out soon, so you know how that goes. Tribal says, the Game has been running his mouth off. Throw him in the ring against either Eminem or 50 Cent. If Game goes against Eminem, that would be an amazing versus. I know Game can hold his own. I know Eminem can hold his own. The crowd is definitely going to pick a winner. You know, Twitter, the internet don't care. They're going to pick a winner. So that'll be nice to see. If 50 goes against Game, that one is going to be good to see. They don't like each other. They're going to perform hits. They're going to talk trash. They're going to come with their best. They're going to come with their best if 50 goes against Game. So I would like to see either of those. I would love to see either of those. Sarah's in the building. Sarah, thank you for coming through. Sarah says, good evening, everyone. I'm here. Missed the verses, so I can't light up the chat. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend. Thank you for that, Sarah. Again, Sarah, it is on YouTube. I highly recommend you check it out. Verzuz YouTube channel, they have it on there. And Triller also has their YouTube channel as well. You can also rewatch it on Triller or Verzuz. And also, if you go on Instagram, you want to watch it on your phone, you can actually watch it on the Verzuz IG page. They have it on their IG page as well. So I highly recommend anyone that likes Verzuz to watch this Verzuz. But I have to commend those two acts for putting together such a great Verzuz. I can't say it enough. This Verzuz right here was very uplifting. The words, the songs, it was all positive vibes. You could take away so much from this Verzuz. If you're not religious, you can still get into this Verzuz. Again, this was in a church setting, and it was just beautifully well presented. The music sound great. The vocals sound amazing. So Sarah, if you can, check it out. There's a tons of places you can watch it. Let me hit some more comments down here before we get up out of here. Michael Mascara got a comment. Michael Mascara says, I wish we could get a Run DMC versus, preferably against Houdini. Woo. Woo. You know what? That sounds interesting. And Run DMC definitely has enough hits. I know DJ Run is not here. I'm sorry, Jam Master J is not here, so that might, you know, be. But Houdini, there's a lot of Houdini that's here still. So that sounds interesting, Michael. I like that. I like that. And they do have enough hits to put on. Tribal says 50 would talk the most trash in any verses. Yes, but talking trash don't win you a verses, man. You got to come out there and put it on. Let me see what you got there. Let me see what the boom. All right, let me hit one more comment before we finish up here. We're going to close this one out with some good words. Blocker says, Busta Rhymes truly needs to happen. I would like to see Busta Rhymes do a versus as well. Hurry up, Swizz and Timbo, because we grind y'all and hit you with the... we got the Busta Rhymes verse. Diamond says, I hear you, but both groups are unfortunately doesn't have all its members. That is true, Diamond. Run DMC, rest in peace, Jam Master J is not there. And there are some of Houdini that's not there as well. So that's the reason why I'm hesitant to see a Mobb Deep versus a UGK versus a Tribe Called Quest versus. I would love for them to do a versus, but there's just something about Mobb Deep and Prodigy not being on stage to perform his songs. You know, UGK, like, to not have Pimp C there to perform his, it just doesn't feel right to me. So, but thank you for that, Sarah. Jason says, Diamond Onyx, the Cypress Hill documentary going to be on Showtime, and the Drink Champs episodes on Revolt on YouTube. I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm going to read one more comment here from Jason. Everyone keeps declining and ducking Buster. They're scared, LOL. But they said Buster found someone. Maybe he is one of the matchups on the schedule that's blurred out. Okay, so let's take a look at that schedule before we get up out of here again. Let's pull that schedule up. And thanks for clarifying that for me, Diamond. I misquoted what we were talking about there. Thank you for that, Diamond. Okay, so April 17th, we just got the Mary BeBe CeCe Winans. The next one is on Mother's Day special. That one is blurred out. Who do y'all want to see for Mother's Day? Do y'all think it's going to be a male versus male, female versus female, R&B? Hit the comment. Let me know what y'all want to see for Mother's Day. And then after that is the Memorial Day verse. That's the Onyx versus Cypress Hill, I believe, right? That's the Onyx Cypress Hill is on Memorial Day. Then you have the June 5th Versus Series live show with special guests. And then you have June 19th, Juneteenth special. Then you have July 1st ever. I'm looking forward to the July 1st ever label matchup. I think that's going to be an amazing versus. That if they do a Bad Boy versus Death Row or Bad Boy, oh man, listen, or Bad Boy So Def, or you got the Tank, you got Master P, No Limit. You can put them against Hot Boys. You got G Unit. You got Dipset. You got Rockefeller. You got Rough Riders, yo. Ooh, listen, that July 1st ever label matchup is going to be crazy. I hope they pick the right group for that one. All right, so let's close out everything here. Diamond Alex says, bars, enjoy your night. Diamond, always thank you for coming through. Shout out to my boy Nigel Carnage, Lance Mita Road, Trinidad. His birthday is tonight. Triborough says, nobody wants to smoke with Buster. Make a call to Jigga. Listen, man, Buster don't want it with Jigga. Y'all already know that. Jason says, no Onyx versus Cypress Hill is May 14th. Oh, wait, let me see. May 14th. This is the May 14th one. Okay, May 14th, that's the, okay, so the May 14th is Onyx versus Cypress Hill. Okay, so that one is the next one. So we got the Mother's Day, which I think is going to be something nice and tame. Mother's Day special. And then after that, May 14th, that's the Cypress Hill versus Onyx. So that one's going to be big. I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you for that, Jason. So, like I said, this versus right here, go back and take a look at it if you haven't watched it, and hit our community section. Let us know what you think about it. But like I said, this versus right here, this versus opened up the door for artists that does not have 20 hits. I know when versus first started, that was all the rage. You gotta have 20 hits. Yo, you gotta have 20 hits. You gotta have 20 bangers. You gotta have 20 hits. Mary came out against BeBe and CeCe Winans, who I think BeBe and CeCe Winans last night had some of the biggest hits last night. And they won some rounds with those big hits. Don't get me wrong. But the overall presentation, the overall vocals, the overall crowd participation went to Mary last night. And moving forward, Swiss Beats and Timberland, you guys can move these kind of numbers on a weekend where people are doing whatever they're doing on an Easter weekend. Who's out eating? Who's out having dinner? You got the NBA playoffs. We talking about playoffs? We got the NBA first week of the playoffs. And y'all put up these kind of numbers? Swizz, Timbo, I can see nothing but bright skies for versus going forward. I want to thank you guys again for joining. Don't forget, every Thursday Night Live. We're going to see y'all this Thursday coming up. Again, rest in peace, DJ K-Slay, the Drama King. One of the premier DJs in New York City. If you were around in the early 90s when mixtapes, when you used to walk to Jamaica Avenue to go buy a mixtape, when brand new music was coming out, you used to go pick up the K-Slay mixtape. when K-Slay went on the radio, when brand new music was about to drop, K-Slay was dropping all of the brand new music. When brand new disc records was dropping, people were going to K-Slay to drop those disc records. Again, this is K-Slay's first studio album, not mixtapes. He has tons of mixtapes, tons of videos. This is the first studio album, The Street Sweeper Volume 1. Passed away over the weekend. Rest in peace to DJ K-Slay.